Boom, boom, clap. So, I'm reading a book. I'm reading a book, adjusting cameras. I'm reading a book called Man and His Symbols. His Symbols. That's sexist. Why his? Who cares? Anyways, Man and His Symbols. It's I just started, so I'm at the introduction part where the guy forgot his name. I don't pay enough attention. I need to train that. The guy said something along the lines of, what did he say? In the introduction, upon introducing the idea of the book, he said something along the lines of, this book is about how the subconscious complements the conscious, and Carl Jung is so great because of he explains this, and he's such a great writer and such a great guy because of what he says is so captivating, and you're engulfed by his words, etc., etc. Even the common man can understand. And Carl Jung has this philosophy that if you can get the unconscious and the conscious to like sort of cooperate and be intertwined, you will live a full and complete life. And we see the unconscious within dreams, and we see them within history, we see them all throughout, and these things constantly appear, etc., 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 etc. I guess it's interesting because of what makes it interesting. The idea sounds uncommon, as in it's not something I hear of frequently. Maybe it's because of self-development. It's not something that's like common. Not self-development. What is it? Yeah, let's just say self-development, discovering yourself, finding yourself is not that important. Just go work. You over there, stop finding yourself. Go work. What is that? Poetry? No, go work. That's quite funny. I thought that would make me laugh. Anyways, the fact that it didn't make me laugh made me laugh a little. Um, it's an uncommon idea. Let me just check to see if it's recorded. So it's an uncommon idea in the sense of like, we're told that the unconscious is responsible for like menial tasks like your heart beating. Now bear in mind, we, in terms of, based off my experience and based off of, yeah, I say based on my experience, I've been told, I don't want to say we, I don't speak for everyone. We're told that it's responsible for like menial tasks, like the release of hormones, biological functions, basically, and that the conscious is responsible for thinking. But then this book kind of takes it one step further. I'm assuming it does, based on the introduction. It takes it one step further by saying that no, the unconscious basically has thoughts of its own and can aid and support in your conscious thinking, which is quite interesting because of the whole reason why this book was written was because of Carl Jung had a dream. That's what convinced him that to write the book, which is interesting. Interesting. I don't know. Perhaps I have an opinion on the subconscious. I think there's a lot about ourselves that we don't understand and that we just kind of leave up to mystery. We're just like, well, it happened because it happened. It's just who I am. I shouldn't explain it. It's who I am. Uh, and it becomes a problem because of these things kind of manifest themselves in our lives. Because maybe it starts off small, maybe it manifests itself as something tiny, but eventually it consumes you like a flame. So, but by saying that, I'm essentially referring to the unconscious as like some sort of uncontrollable thing that you kind of need to tame. Whereas, I don't know, it could be positive in that some people just have this overwhelming feeling to be kind. to be nice. You get what I'm saying? And they can't help it because it's who they are. Haha. So my only question becomes, of course, if it's positive, you want to embody it, but what happens when it's negative? Do you just like suppress it and you just say no bad feeling? Because I'd assume it just doesn't disappear like that. It's there for a reason. Like it exists for a reason. Now I could make the assumption, well, it wouldn't be a bad assumption, it would actually be a good guess, an educated guess. I could make an educated guess that maybe these subconscious ideas stem from our life experience and genetic predispositions. I don't know, maybe experienced a ton of trauma, and that trauma sort of created like different defense mechanisms, and those defense mechanisms exist within you, and now you sort of have to face them. Or maybe you faced a ton of trauma and it created this whole personality of wanting to be nice. I don't know. The only question becomes, how do you approach the subconscious? You know, that's the funny thing, because I think that's the first title of that book. The first title of the first chapter. The first chapter's title in that book, Man and His Symbols. You start to ask yourself, how do I approach this thing? Like, do I change it? Do I embody it? What exactly happens if these patterns manifest themselves physically? Then what do I do? Like, what do I do? Huh. Especially if they're negative patterns. Do I try to suppress them with the existence of like different ideas? Do I try to go about reprogramming my subconscious? What do I do? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Head movement, head movement, head movement. That was delayed. They should flow. Punches should flow. What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? I don't know. Well, I guess I could just read the book and then find out, or I could theorize. And if I theorize, it will help my brain work, and then I read it the book as a supplement, and maybe the idea is completely different and completely better than mine, making it so that it sticks. What would I theorize? How would you approach the subconscious? Well, if you understand that everything is just thoughts, why not just create a thought that's much bigger than that specific thought, and kind of, what is it called? Propagate that particular thought in your head, like propaganda type shit. I feel like that would work. Plus, the more an idea is repeated, doesn't it, the more powerful it becomes. No, that makes sense to me. Anyways, that's enough ranting. Yeah.